Welcome back to the Boys on the Bench. Today we are going to be talking about Throwback Weekend in NASCAR here at Darlington, South Carolina. This is going to be a fun, exciting race. The lady in black, we're excited. It's Throwback Weekend. Some pretty cool paint schemes we're going to see this weekend. Some of the few that I'm excited to see on track. All the Hendrick cars, of course. Bowman knocked it out of the park. Elliott knocked it out of the park with a throwback to Dale Jr.'s Daytona 500 win and Kyle Larson's old Kellogg's car classic. We're going to see some pretty cool paint schemes this weekend, and I'm excited for it. But today we're going to be talking about some of the drivers that I think that are going to do well this weekend here at Darlington, and talk about why I think they're going to do well, and just what we can put a lineup together on DraftKings and see if we can win some money in some NASCAR fantasy this week. So we won a couple dollars last week, and looking forward to keep the hot streak rolling. First, we're going to start it off with Kyle Larson. I like Kyle Larson here at this track, especially because here at Darlington, a lot of the speed you get is coming off the wall, running right up against the wall. Kyle Larson does that better than anybody else in the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm really excited to see what he can do. That is his strong suit, so this track fits the style of the way he likes to race very, very good. Plus, he's coming off a win last week in Kansas, the closest finish in NASCAR history. Man, that was exciting. Last few laps there, we got to see a few to watch the race. It was something to watch. If you haven't seen it, go back, take a look at the last lap. It was pretty cool, pretty exciting, and a lot of fun. He ran right up against the wall. Busher gave him a lane, and he made it work. And he's going to do more of that this weekend here in Darlington. But one of the reasons I like Kyle Larson is because he's pretty much good anywhere. He can get the most out of his car and drive as fast as he possibly can. And he's just a very, very, very good and talented race car driver. And he struggles a little bit on super speedways. That's just because he's aggressive and can usually gets caught up in the wrecks. But this week's going to be a little different. We're not at a super speedway. Like I said, we're in Darlington. It's going to be kind of a one-lane track a little bit, running right up against the wall. That's where all the speed is in this track, and he does that very well. He has also won here. He won here last year in a playoff race. So the last time there in Darlington, he did come out with a win. With that being said, though, he also has 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s at this racetrack. So he runs very well here, and like I said, because it fits his driving style pretty good. But he's also led 270 laps here next gen era. So he's been dominant, and he's shown it to be dominant at this racetrack. So that's one of the guys I'm looking forward to watch this weekend. If you can get him in your lineup, get him. You got to have him. Another guy we're going to talk about, second guy we're going to bring up here, is Denny Hamlin. If you've been watching some NASCAR this year, you've noticed that Denny Hamlin has been on a tear this year. He has led a lap in almost every single race this year. He has been very, very, very good and very, very fast at everywhere that we have been on this year. So you kind of got to have him. I mean, if he's leading laps in every race and he's been dominant at every racetrack we've been to, he has quite a bit of wins already this year, him and Byron. So I just like him. Plus, this is a track that he's also good at too. It's one of the tracks that he circles at to expect to win, and this is why I have him on my list. But he also has 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s at this racetrack in the next gen era. But he's also led 385 laps. He probably would have won the race last year, the playoff race last year that Larson won, but they had some issues, and he ended up not getting that win. But look for him to be in win contention again this Sunday afternoon here at Darlington, South Carolina on Throwback Weekend. He's going to be very dominant, very fast, and he's just going to be one of the best cars on the track like he's been all year. So look forward to him probably doing the same thing again this week, especially at a track that he really, really likes to run. Another guy, let's go with our third driver. Our third driver is another guy who loves to run up against the wall, just like Kyle Larson. And he is just as good, if not maybe a little bit better. I wouldn't say better, but he's just as good as Kyle Larson running up against the wall, and that is Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick does that extremely well. And when you watch most of the races, you see the first 2 people that running up right against the wall is either Reddick and or Larson, because they both love being out there and they can get their cars up against that wall and get the speed and get a good run coming off the corners. So I really like Reddick this weekend. just because the way he likes to run right up against the wall fits the style of track because that's where all the speed is again. So I'm putting him on my list this week for fantasy. I think he's going to be able to excel and run well this weekend, and he's got a pretty cool throwback paint scheme this week as well. So, if you get the chance, go out and look at all the cars that are going to be out there this weekend, and check out some of the throwbacks. They're going to be pretty sweet. But Reddick has three top fives and three top tens at this track as well, and he has led 102 laps at this racetrack. So he shows you that he can be competitive at this racetrack and he can be dominant. And of course, I see it as well because again, this is his style of race, speed coming off the wall. So I really like Reddick here at this track. Um, let's get into our fourth driver. Fourth driver is going to be Chase Elliott, starting 31st. But hey, he's been on a hot streak. He's been running well. Might be a little biased putting him on the list because I am an Elliott fan, but you can't say if you're not an Elliott fan, he's been running well the past several weeks and been finding himself running the top fives and the top tens here lately. And looking forward to keep that momentum moving. We do got a win on the year. That's good. It's always good to have a win on the year before the playoffs. Get you into the playoffs too as well. So it's good. Now we can just build in momentums and get playoff points. So look for him to try to play a strategy play here. I will say though, if you're doing some fantasy, if he's starting 31st and strategy plays out well and he can finish in the top five, top 10, that's going to be really, really good start to finish point differential there that you're going to get some really good points on. So that's something to look at too as well. But here at this track, Elliott has two top fives and four top tens. It's not it's good. So if he's starting 31st, it's almost dead last. If he can finish in the top five or top 10, that's you're gonna get a lot of points there. So look for him to throw in your lineup as well. They've been running very well here. They've had to use some strategy to get starting. They've started in mid of the pack the past couple of weeks. Use the strategy, get back up to the front, and he stayed there. So that can really help out and be some good points for you to make up this week in your lineup. Our fifth guy that we're going to have on the list, and I really debated to put him on the list because he has not been running very well. Him and his team have not been doing great this year. Ford has not been doing great this year, other than maybe Ryan Blaney, but we're going to go with Joey Logano. It was hard to put him on the list this week, but he has run well here at Darlington, and they need a very, very good, solid run. Maybe even a win to turn things around and get some confidence back in that Shell Pennzoil team over there, Team Penske. Um, he's won at this track in the next gen car, so that's one of the things to look at. He's capable enough to be winning races. I mean, he's done it his whole career. He is a two-time champion, one of those championships coming in the next gen car. So he just needs that confidence booster. He needs that good solid run, needs that good finish, and just a good all around great day, solid day for this team to get things back on track for Joe Logano. And I think that this is a track that they have circled for that because he has won here in this next gen car and he dominated the race that he won in. So look forward to him having a good weekend. He has two top fives and three top tens at this track, and he's led 171 laps. So if anything's going to happen for him to turn the season around, get back on track, get back to the team that they know they can be to contending for championships and race wins every week, this is the track that they circled to regroup, to gather everything back up and get moving back in the direction that they need to be moving in. So, and then our sixth guy that we're going to go with here, he's going to be my sleeper pick, kind of a dark horse guy, a guy that can be cheap on your DraftKings list down there at the bottom. And that's Eric Jones. A lot of people don't say, well, I mean, why are you going to go Eric Jones? Hasn't run well. Legacy Motor Clubs hasn't been doing great all year and all this and all that. Well, yeah, you're right. But he has won at this racetrack with that team. So it's going to be fun to watch. He's coming back off of his injury at Talladega this week. He'll be back this week racing at Darlington where he has won. He has two top fives and three top tens here. And he's only led a few laps, but he got a win. And that's all that matters for people like him. Plus, if he's starting in the back, he runs well at this track. If he's starting in the back, kind of the same boat Chase Elliott's in. If he can run well, have a good solid day, and be productive like he usually is at this track, you can get a very good start to finish differential points. So that'll be a good thing to take into consideration and when you're making up your lineup. Plus, he'll be a little bit cheaper than your better guys. So if everything plays out and it goes well and strategy plays the way it's supposed to play, look for him to have a good solid day and get you some good points. That's all I got for you guys for this week. Um, a lot of people not a lot of people might not be NASCAR fans, but if you get the chance to just click on the TV, go over, see what it's all about. Look at Throwback Weekend. It's really cool what they do. They take back old '80s, '90s paint schemes, put them together, early 2000s paint schemes, and it's really cool. And the cars look good. The drivers enjoy it. So it's a good race to watch. A good one to tune into. You get to see all the cool stuff going on. So um, that's all I have for y'all. Looking forward to watching the race in Darlington, South Carolina, the Lady in Black, and let's go racing, boys. Thank y'all for tuning in.